just how difficult was last week? Yeah, y'all have been down 2 tackles before, but now you were down Jordan and James Carpenter, and a bunch of other guys that probably made the game plan a little difficult there.
Yeah, it was tough. It was a very unique situation. It seemed like every day I had a few guys here, a few guys there, test positive and missed the game. So it made it tough. It was very fluid, very day-to-day situation. Just, get on the same page and, trying to communicate and trying to figure out who's going to be where, how they fit into the game plan. So there's a lot of moving parts. It was, it was what it was. Hopefully don't have that situation again.
James, some of what Miami did, sort of disguising who was rushing, putting 8 on the line and then rushing 4, but not knowing which 4 were coming. Was that similar to what Carolina had done in that second game of the year? They seemed to do some of that, and obviously is that sort of part of the preparation this week, is sort of figuring out how to figure that out?
Yeah, there's definitely some similarities. Miami they do a pretty unique kind of pressure package, and we had seen some of that on film for sure. I think we should have done a better job picking it up at times. I think we had a good plan, and there were some miscommunications, some poor execution. So just a few mishaps for sure picking that up, and then obviously week 2 against Carolina, the last time they definitely hit us hard on some pressures and got some free runners. Things we know that we have to correct, and we're working hard to do that. So there are definitely some similarities. I think just the pressure in general kind of got through a few too many times, and we're trying to correct it and prepare for Carolina, who does some different things as well. So just understanding what they're going to bring and what our rules are and who's responsible for what, and making sure that we're on top of that to keep our quarterback upright and to give him time to throw to who he needs to throw to.
Yeah, in keeping your quarterback upright, 8 sacks last week. Just what was it like watching the film of those and some of the other things that happened last week?
Yeah, unfortunately, it was watching it was exactly kind of what it felt like, while it was happening. It was bad. It was not up to our standard. We definitely have a standard here, and we have high expectations for ourselves, particularly as an offensive line, of keeping the quarterback safe, giving him plenty of time to go through his progressions, and we failed to do that, several times in the game Monday night. So that was unfortunate. That's definitely a challenge for us this week. We got some practices here. There are definitely things that we've got to correct, as a unit and also individually, just making sure our technique's solid. So, it's a direct challenge to us. You're not going to win many games playing the way that we did as an offensive line, and we know that. So we're going to step up and do a better job this week.
Rob Walker. Hey, James, I know it's obviously tough with just having so many inexperienced guys, but on top of that, how tough was it just you all had to practice virtually? I mean, for an offensive line, how important is actual on-the-field work as opposed to trying to practice, talk about things over, virtually?
Yeah, it's very tough. It's not ideal at all. I think our coaches did as good a job as they could have under the circumstances of making sure guys were safe and making sure that, we were ready to roll. And I think at the end of the day, as players, we just take it on our shoulders. We were doing, what we could, walking through, practicing, getting in as much as we possibly could get in while being safe. So that was a tough situation, and we just got to learn from it. We got to know, hey, if we can't get a practice, well, we got to make sure we're watching film, over communicating while we're out there, and trying to do those things that kind of help solve some of those problems that we had, just losing practices and losing reps throughout the week.
Yeah, James, do the communication problems just naturally work themselves out when you get guys back? I mean, I'm guessing a big part of the communication issue is the fact that you got a whole bunch of guys on the line that haven't played together, right?
Yeah, that's definitely part of it. The more moving pieces, the more you have to communicate, and that's something that we could have done a better job of, I think, during the game, is communicating with the guy next to you and making sure, hey, we're all on the same page, particularly against that opponent that brought a kind of variety of pressures and, really hurt us with it. I think that we've got to understand, hey, if I haven't played next to this guy, or if I've got limited reps next to this guy, we've got to over communicate and make sure that we're on the same page. Because if you don't know who you're blocking, the play's not going to be successful. Usually in the NFL, the hard part isn't knowing who to block, but it's actually blocking that guy across from you. So, yeah, we just got to do better. We got to understand the situation that we're in. We got to understand who's available, who's going to be playing, and just making sure that you and the guy next to you or the guys next to you are on the same page.
Luke Johnson.
Hey, James, I don't know if you could put your finger on anything here, but if not, how frustrating has it been this year to have 6 games at home and I think only one win in those games? How important is that for y'all in the building?
Yeah, that's tough. It's tough for our fans. We want them to come out and support us and be loud, and we got to make sure we're giving them reasons to do that. Definitely a few home games have been massive disappointments for us. I think, trying to put a finger on something, it's been tough. We've lost, those games in kind of a lot of different ways, if that makes sense. So it's hard to necessarily say that there's, one reason for losing those games at home. But, yeah, it's super frustrating. Home field is an advantage, particularly for us playing in the Superdome. So, yeah, obviously we're super excited to play at home, and we gotta do better. We gotta step up to the challenge and give our fans something to cheer about.
And last one, maybe Justin.
Yeah, before the season started, the offensive line was, definitely considered one of the strengths with 2 All-Pro tackles. Andrews Pete's been to a number of Pro Bowls, and 2 young guys coming up. Have you been a part of anything quite like this, where you lose just so many guys like this? And who knows what the status is of any of those guys are moving forward, right? So.
Yeah, definitely haven't been any part of anything quite like this. I think that's just the unique circumstance that we're in. But not only us, it's happening across the league. It's happening across the nation, outside of sports. There's so many things in life that have just been day-to-day, been changing so constantly and so fluid. So, like I said earlier, hopefully we don't have to deal with that anymore. Hopefully we've kind of seen the worst of it, if you will. And hopefully we're, staying as safe as we possibly can. But it's just a matter of, rising to the challenge. And it is a challenge for sure, getting new guys in there that, maybe haven't played a lot of football, but also maybe haven't played next to a few guys. So that's a big challenge. And I think we can do a better job than we did last week, for sure, about answering that call. And I think we're looking forward to getting back out there on Sunday so we can put a better product out there.